In the previous episode, Piglet states that Peter didn't touch her, but as she felt undeniable connection, she requests to be transferred to Peter's guild to remain to his side and attend his needs, and will pursue the great future for Orkland. Babe and Albatross immediately approve. Later it reveals that Piglet swore to destroy the Orkland pigs who made her life a living hell. In the present, Piglet prepares dinner for Peter, however Mimi and Lisa came and are not happy seeing an orc and an elf there. Vegan states that Peter's offspring belongs to the elves and they can settle it by a fight to the death, but easily gets knocked by Lisa. The girls can't understand each other as each wants Peter's seeds. Piglet explains that she had no intention of taking Peter to herself and is fine with being one of his mistresses. That surprises the other three, and Vegan mistaken Piglet for laughing at her and wants to curse her, but Peter stops her. As conflict is unavoidable, Lisa proposes they decide the hierarchy by competing using their feminine wiles, and everyone agrees. Vegan then summons Agape, a fairy that can measure male arousal. Vegan then announces the rules. The one that can cause the most excitement in Peter's pants wins. The girls can't stop arguing as Vegan wants they to not use their boobs and they mock her for not having any. Tim walks in drunk and Peter asks him to stop the fighting and he states a fight is stopped by booze. They start drinking and forget about fighting, but soon they start trying to give more alcohol to Peter. He realizes they want to make him drunk and use him and wants to not give in temptation. But Peter fails. Peter wakes in the morning with the girls around him, wondering if he betrayed Luvelia once again. He wakes up Vegan asking her what happened last night and she explains he was quite aroused that even Agape broke as his levels were off the chart. As the other girls also awaken and sparks fly again, the girls sit to decide the terms on who and when can use Peter Grill's reproductive resources. After some arguing they manage to find an agreement and Peter follows his rigorous duties on a daily basis until the first day to rest comes. Peter is excited and dresses up as he is going on a date with Luvelia. He spends the day shopping with Luvelia and then goes to dinner with her. As he was enjoying his time with her, Mimi shows up. He reminds her it's his free day, but she comments all the better as he will be hers only. That annoys Peter as she is breaking the pact. Luvelia comments that he has been quite close with Mimi recently and Peter explains she asked him to help with her combat training. As Mimi was about to say the truth, he drags her in the bathroom. There he asks her to not ruin his date, but Mimi wants a quick thing and undress. After doing it quickly, he gets back to Luvelia, only to find Vegan there, who also wants a quick thing as she can also have him only for her on his rest day. However, returning to Luvelia, he now sees Lisa there and take her to the bathroom too. While waiting, Luvelia drinks wine and recalls old memories with Peter and how he sacrificed himself to protect her from a monster. After dinner, Peter apologizes for the girls ruining their date, but Luvelia states she understands as he is popular. She comments it would be nice for the two of them to go somewhere nice and relaxing outside of guild duties and Peter agrees. As she leaves, Peter feels the girls are dragging him and she doesn't know how much he will be able to withstand their torture and still protect his relationship with Luvelia. Peter takes a bath after his date with Luvelia and feels the date was ruined. Piglet then enters the bath and proposes to wash Peter's back. She tells him he can share his pain with her and that she don't do anything to hurt him. As he complains, Piglet takes off her towel and Peter is drawn into her and they end up making love. To Peter's surprise, the other girls are also in the bath and they see it. Given the situation, the girls decide to share the fluids and all jump on Peter for another round. Peter can't take it anymore and starts hitting the water, asking what's the point in the rules if they are going to break it. Mimi comments that there is no punishment for breaking them and that's why they feel free to break them. Realizing there won't be an end, Peter's mind shatters and he runs away, wanting to leave everything behind, but soon realizes he can't leave Luvelia. As he sits, an ogre appears and is willing to listen to his problem. Peter explains he made many terrible mistakes, but he can't get Luvelia out of his mind. The ogre comments that love is out of their control and he also just arrived in this town looking for the woman who stole his heart. He has been looking her for 3 years and finally heard he is in the Ikpachi Warriors Guild. The ogre tells him that if Peter's love is pure, the gods will light his path with their blessings. Peter feels reassured and motivated. He explains that he is also in the guild and asks the ogre about the woman name. The ogre explains she is the strongest warrior and princess of Ogrestan, Lady Lisa Alpacas. Peter is shocked to learn the Lisa is a princess. Peter runs to Lisa asking her if it's true that she is a royalty. Lisa wonders from where he heard it, but confirms that she is the heir of Ogrestan. At the reception at the guild, Michi enjoys looking at men's muscle from a magazine. Antonio Spartacos then shows up and she finds his pecs is breathtaking. Antonio introduces himself, but sees that Michi isn't even listening. Mimi shows up, asking if there is some work for them and Antonio is surprised to see her. Peter tells Lisa that if he gets royalty from another country pregnant, it will be an international scandal, but she assures him she is only interested in his genes and once she gets pregnant she will leave and won't reveal his name. She takes her clothes and takes Peter to bed. Following Mimi's instructions, Antonio arrives at Peter's place looking for Lisa. He hears her voice and enters the room, but is shocked to see Lisa and Peter in bed. Antonio gets angry, breaking the wall and sending Peter outside. Back at Peter's room, Antonio asks Lisa to return to their homeland as without her presence there, their armies struggle. Lisa explains she can't return yet and her 3-year quest brought her to Peter and she wants his child as ogres strive for generations stronger than the last. Antonio still wonders why, and Lisa comments that he and the other ogres at Ogreston are even weaker than her. If there was a strong enough man at Ogreston, she would not have gone on this journey. Antonio states that he became much stronger in those last 3 years and wants to prove it and challenges Peter to a duel. News of the duel spread and people gather at the arena to watch it. They heard it all started because of a woman, but knowing that Peter has a fiancée, they assume the ogre wants to beat Peter and gain fame and confidence to propose to the woman he wants, while Peter accepted the fight with nothing to gain from it. Peter then realizes that he can lose the fight and Antonio will take Lisa to their country, and that will solve one of his problems. Peter decides to throw the match, however Lisa comes and points him at Luvilia, showing that Mimi is next to her and warns him that if he wishes their relationship to remain a secret, he shouldn't be thinking of something like throwing the match. Peter realizes he was read like a book and can't throw the match now. The duel starts and Antonio takes a stance which Tim Robinson immediately realizes it's Gigan-style double tomahawk. An unbeatable technique used by the Ogreston's fearsome army said that no living creature can withstand the crushing weight of the vortex spins. Antonio reveals he loved Lisa from a childhood and he honed his skills and also maintained strict code of sexual purity. Hearing he is a virgin, the crowd feel compassion for him and start rooting Peter to lose. However, Peter can't afford to lose and as Antonio rushes at him using his Gigan style, Peter easily defeats him with a single swing, causing the crowd to boo him. Lisa announces him as the loser, stating she has no interest in weaklings. Antonio begs for another chance and as Peter tells her to cut him some slack, Lisa agrees to give him another chance and states he will fight her in a week. Everyone leaves and Peter decides to do the same, however Antonio stops him, explaining that he never was able to do anything against Lisa and experiencing Peter's strength. He asks him if he can become his apprentice. Vegan and Piggle tell Peter to accept, explaining that if they train him and he wins, he will take Lisa to their homeland. Thinking about it, Peter agrees. Peter starts Antonio's training with Vegan using her magic and Piggled her cooking to enhance his muscles. One day at lunch, Peter sees Mitchie, wonder why she is there and Piggled explains she has been coming often bringing lunch boxes to Antonio, and she believes Mitchie may love him. The day of the duel comes and Antonio and Lisa come to the arena for the fight. Antonio and Lisa start their duel. Peter is confident that Antonio is now stronger than Lisa, but seeing her smile and Antonio moving slower than usual, he realizes that Lisa is using her boobs to distract Antonio, who can't move his eyes from them. Realizing that, Peter knows the fight is over and moments later, Lisa defeats Antonio with Peter commenting that his decision to remain a virgin costed him the win. Antonio later wakes to realize he lost again and Peter knows that if they ask for a rematch, the result would be the same. As Mitchie comes to visit him, Peter realizes that Antonio needs to get used to be around women. Peter pulls Antonio aside and tells him that Mitchie is known for being a connoisseur of guys with huge muscles and he would be able to win her. Peter explains that he can't beat Lisa due to being too susceptible to the charms of the opposing sex and he needs to build up experience with women. Antonio doesn't like the idea losing his virginity to other women than Lisa, but Peter tells him he had butterfly in his stomach when Mitchie is around. Antonio doesn't deny it, but comments he is devoted to Lisa and Peter points out that's the problem as he is depriving himself of other possibilities as he is too focused on her. Mitchie, who had overheard them, joins the conversation and states that he knows he deeply loves Lisa, but she deeply loves Antonio. Hearing that Antonio falls for her too and Peter leaves them alone. The next day, after sleeping with Mitchie, Antonio feels different and Peter tells him he can now take on Lisa. However, Antonio states that he was correct for being too focused on one woman. Mitchie then shows and Antonio melts in front of her, stating that he already forgot about Lisa and leaves with Mitchie. Lisa then shows up and thanks Peter for helping out Antonio as he is great leader and soldier. She asks him what is true happiness for him, being married to a naive woman and having Albatross as father-in-law or something else. And if he is with her, he can be a king of a nation. As Lisa leaves, Luvilia shows up and seeing her smile, he knows this is his path of happiness. She informs him that the goblin invasion started and they head out and plan to go on vacation after the mission is over. Here's more video you might like. And hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on our future videos. Leave a like, it really helps the channel, and let me know what you think in the comments.